Alright, here we are. I'm back. Still sick as a dog. But I survived. I fucking survived. And I just gotta... Fuck. I just gotta make it through tomorrow. Tomorrow's the end of Animal Crossing. I'm done with stuff tomorrow. Oh my god. So today we're finishing up the cliffs. We're maybe selling turnips. I don't know, we'll find out about everything else. It's a cat plushie. We'll get around back to that later. We'll double back up. Oh my god. I did have one good thing today. The Shamrock Shake returns. You know, technically it's not supposed to return until Monday. But, you know, certain places have it today. I live in one of those places. So I did get a Shamrock Shake today. Oh, fuck, that was so good. And it's funny, because I'm not really, like, a mint guy. I don't really care for, like, mint and whatnot. But there's just something about a Shamrock Shake that just hits. I don't know what it is, but there is just something about the Shamrock Shake. So I had a Shamrock Shake. It was good. And now we're here. We're doing this, and I'm going to bed. And it's back to work tomorrow. 'Cause fuck. Oh hey, we actually need gold. Yeah, no, I'll be fine tomorrow. I'll live. I'll fucking survive. Oh my gosh. I don't know, I've been drinking weird chemicals all day, and I don't know if it's making me any better. There's a good Tumblr post where it's like, oh, where high school teachers will be like, in college everything is super serious, and then in college he tells the story where they had a professor that had like a massive migraine, and they came to school with a thermos full of NyQuil, and they were gonna keep drinking it and teaching until, you know, they passed out. And right before they would cancel class. And they made it like 17 minutes. That's what today felt like. I had my water bottle filled with just weird chemicals that are supposed to make you feel better and taste like fruit punch. And it doesn't. And I was just like, oh, come on. You're just waiting to pass out. I never did. Hi, you know, how you doing? I'm still dying. You failed your English exam. Just don't tell your mother, okay? Is it even possible to get that low on the SAT? Like, even just if you were randomly guessing, you'd still at least get, like, statistically 1 in 4. Is that even possible? I don't know. I don't remember the scoring system for the SAT and the ACT. I know they're weird. I want to say the SAT is out of like 1800. I mean, you still fail, but I don't know. Is the SAT like the ASVAB, where you get points for just kind of showing up and putting your name on the paper? I don't think so. The highest is a 1600. Okay. I don't know. It's been a decade since I've thought about the SAT. Oh, you got illness as well. Yeah, okay, we're both fucked then. Where the heck is my other rock? There's 2 of them. But I'm missing 2. What, did I give you this through memes? Did my memes infect you? I don't know, something's going around. I know what the SAT is. No, the ASVAB is the one you take for going into the military. Wait, why did I make a net? Oh god, fucking iFunny. No, the ASVAB is the military one. I actually took the ASVAB back in 2015. The only reason I took the ASVAB was because it got me out of school for the day. It was one of those things where, oh, you go in to take the ASVAB, it gets you out of school for the day, and you're out by like 11 o'clock. So it was like, oh yeah, you know, it's a half day of school. And all you gotta do is take this stupid test. That, oh god. I don't even remember what I scored on the ASVAB. I'm pretty sure, though, I was able to basically, if I did join the military, which I didn't, I would have been able to basically do whatever I wanted. Yeah, flew A, B, and C around. Yeah. At least we're not in Washington. In Washington, D.C., measles is going around right now. Yeah, no, I never really planned on joining the military to begin with. But yeah, it got me out of school for a day. Yeah, I don't even remember what I scored on the ASVAB. I don't even know if there's a way to look that up. I know I tried looking up my SAT in college and couldn't find it. Oh, no, we did. The U.S. eradicated measles in the year 2000, but because of the rise of anti-vaxxers and, you know, science misinformation and our current health secretary, RFK Jr., measles has come back. Yeah, no. The U.S. got rid of measles and then they brought them back because, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, people for, you know, hundreds of years dies of this disease. We cure it, and then people forget what it was like to die of that disease, and so then we bring it back, because we think like, oh, well, you know, I never had it, why should my kids worry about it? And we literally did it in like a single generation. And that shit happens all the time throughout humanity. No, we never globally wiped it out. No, it's kind of like tuberculosis. right? Like, for as much work as we do on it, we can never truly get rid of it. But we did a lot of good work. I mean, even like stuff like the Black Plague. Like, there's a few hundred cases of Black Plague every year. We just don't really talk about it that much because it's usually not that big of a deal. But no, as a country, the US did fully eradicate it. Because that's just humanity's nature, is we figure out a cure for something and then we forget it, or, you know, we don't learn our lesson and then we bring it back. My favorite example is scurvy. Humanity figured out the cure for scurvy and then forgot it and had to rediscover it. And I want to say it happened twice. That's because, you know, just people stopped getting scurvy, and then they forgot why they were, you know, why they were getting it in the first place. So they stopped eating oranges, and then they got scurvy again. Alright, let's do it. Crazy how we're so advanced. The only viruses we have fully eradicated are smallpox, rinderpest. We haven't got rid of smallpox either. Smallpox is still around. Yeah, no, we didn't get rid of smallpox. I don't know about the other one, but smallpox is definitely still a thing. I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna Google it, but natural case was salmonella. I still think I remember reading somewhere that smallpox is still that people still do get it. I don't remember what it was, though. Rinderpest is a cattle virus, yeah. I don't know. Knowing the United States like I do, I would not be surprised if they brought smallpox back. Not because, you know, they should, but because it's the fucking United States. Definitely thinking of chicken pox. Maybe. Maybe I am. Smallpox is the iron lung one, right? Where they have to put people in the iron lung because of smallpox. I don't know. Chicken pox is also one of those things that we should have eradicated. But no, instead the boomers actively spread it. And now we're all facing the fucking consequences of that. And you know, they're all getting shingles. I don't know, I've never had chicken pox. That was not something I never had it. And you know, I didn't have family members who were like, well, you gotta infect the kids with it, so that way they don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, I never had to deal with that. Hey, bud, are you guys playing lightsabers? Chickenpox, measles. Yeah, I think I did as well. I don't know why I wouldn't have. All right. I guess let's go find out our turnip prices. We don't have much to sell, but we'll go turnip anyways. That's possible. Again, the US is right now backsliding down a cliff when it comes to health things. So if any disease randomly shows back up again, I will in no way be surprised. Come on. 108. Okay, 108 is not amazing, but it is probably the best we're going to get. Yeah, I'm gonna bet money on 108. Oh god. 108. He was going into the Talisman-controlled Afghanistan. Life was like, he trusted him. There was one guy, I couldn't tell you who it was, but he was, I want to say he was like British or something, and he he was like this like Taliban like truther, where he was like, no, they're actually the good guys, but he was an American, you know, he was a Republican. And so when the Taliban took back over, they arrested him, and eventually the British had to get him out because he intentionally went into an area that the Americans told him, like, no, you shouldn't go there. They offered to give him a ride home, and instead he stayed behind. So the Americans were like, you know what? If you want to stay there, we're just going to leave you there. And I think it was the British who ended up getting him out. And then he might have gone back. Like, genuinely, he might have gone back. I don't know. This was years ago. I mean, Biden was still the president at the time. You know, that guy that streaked at the Super Bowl, he won like over 30. Better himself in the Super. Yeah! Yeah, no, that's the problem with these betting apps. That's why all these betting apps should be regulated. Is because people can do shit like that. Same thing with the whole green dildos thing at basketball. Like, they could just do that and, you know, rig elections. Same thing happened with our invasion into Venezuela. Somebody just, you know, somebody with insider knowledge said we were going to do it, bet money on it, and yeah. And they made like $1 million off of it. He knows that Afghanistan. Yeah. Listen, the guy was crazy. I'm not saying that, oh, Republicans don't think Afghanistan is bad. I'm saying this guy was crazy, but he was also like a Trumper. And part of the reason he stayed behind had something to do with like Trump or something. Because again, Biden was in office at the time. No. No. Trying to bet on these betting apps. I mean, listen, if you get it, then you're gonna get punished some other way. Like that streaker, oh yeah, he made money betting on it. But he lost in other ways. He probably lost big in other ways, you know, never being allowed to go to an NFL game ever again. Is this loud or is it just me? It sounds loud in my ear. Once he gets the money, he can just pay bail with his winnings. Oh, it's gonna be more than... Bail's gonna be more than that, 13K. And I think he got 2 people to do it, so it wasn't just him. He had someone helping him as well. So that's also going to be a pretty penny. You know, they got to get both of them out. I mean, it's better than Drake, who bet $1 million on the Patriots. Which, I mean, I'm glad the Patriots lost, if just to say fuck you to Drake. Because fuck Drake. He had the medical. Yeah. Oh, fuck Drake. No, Drake cost me everything. Fuck Drake. The only person who's done less for me than Drake is Kanye. Fuck that guy as well. And, like, I was already on the fuck Kanye train before he became a Nazi. Like, it was already like a, like, you know, I always knew he was a bad person. And then when he finally came out, it was like, yep, I'm in no way surprised. Because Kanye's just a very bad person. And so is Drake. Fucking hate them both. I get you're making a joke there at the end, but I don't trust Meta with any of my shit. Fuck Facebook. No. One day, smart glasses technology will be good. Like, they'll eventually get like something like the Apple Vision Pro to be good, but we're just not there yet. Man, my throat's killing me right now. And nothing I'm doing is making it any better. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, it hurts so much. The water, it doesn't help at all. So what is the lore behind the hatred for Drake? Drake killed my dog. Allegedly. Yeah, let's go with that. And then Kanye kicked me in the dick. Allegedly. Fucking hate them both. No, he instead went all Christy Gnome on it. Allegedly. Ah, fuck that. No. The artist is the art. Nah, they fucking suck. Here's the thing about the whole Hassan thing is I don't even actually think Hassan shocked his dog. Like, the more I saw from that, the more I was like, yeah, I don't think he actually did that. I think people just have a giant hate boner for Hassan. I mean, it doesn't matter either way, but... I don't know, I don't want to restart that drama. I wade into the weeds at the time. The memes were funny, though. I'll give you that. The memes were fucking funny. Yeah, I don't trust XQC. I would call that a little bit of a bias source. Look at all these weeds back here. I didn't even know about this shit. No wonder where all this shit's been coming from. Yeah, he's got no life. Asmongold is radioactive. Like, literally, he registers on a Geiger counter. He's fucking disgusting. Emiru's fucking stupid right now. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but it still kind of fucking sucks. Not that I watch any of her stuff, but, you know, it's just one more person who's, like, obviously, like, yeah, just going full mask off. I'll give it a year or two before they're on Fox News. They asked her a question about, like, hey, do you support ICE? And instead of just, like, saying, like, no, like most people would, she instead just dodged the question. And so a bunch of people were like, how hard is it to say no? It's like the people who won't say, like, I'm not a Nazi. Like, how hard is it to say I'm not a Nazi? Oh, wait, they won't because they are Nazis. I'm looking at you, President. I disagree. I mean, sure, there's a time and a place for everything, but at a certain point, questions have to be answered. Tell that to the people who are being marched off to concentration camps. But no, fuck ICE. It's not that hard to say. Because everything's politics, everything sucks, and at a certain point, I mean, we're hurtling towards civil war. I hate to be that guy, but we're hurtling towards it, and at some point people are going to have to pick sides. Guess what? ICE is Nazism. ICE is just the Gestapo. It's the same thing. I mean, I hope there's not a civil war. I really do, but all it's going to take is one spark. To be fair, that spark might have already happened, but I mean, it would require someone to grow a backbone, and clearly that's none of the Democrats. Yeah, but you gotta remember, you're the result of somebody's 250-year-old immortality project, and somebody else's, the president's immortality project, is getting in the way of that. And in order for him to achieve his immortality project, he needs to eliminate everybody. And so, yeah, it's kind of inevitable. That's not happening. Puerto Rico will become a state when when we get Irish reunification. Or Scotland gets independence. God, they fucked up so bad with that. That was 10 years ago. And they fucking blew it. Yeah, no, people don't know that. There are a lot of things people don't know about America. Because the American education system sucks, and there's nothing anybody wants to do with it. I bring up Ireland because the Irish unification's like one of those things that's never going to happen. Puerto Rico becoming a state's never going to happen. Irish reunification is never going to happen. That's why I bring it up. I don't know. I mean, have you been following these Olympic athletes, man? Like, yeah, I'm glad they're winning, but it's really hard to be proud of this country right now. And usually, like, the Olympics are the time of year where we do get proud to be part of this country. Where it's like, yeah, it's the Olympics. Let's root for America. And it's just so fucking hard. I know we get more excited for the Summer Olympics than we do the Winter Olympics. But yeah. They can be funny. I got a full workday tomorrow. Fuck me. Why'd it have to be this week? Oh, so you're a Republican. Okay. I'm pretty sure Republicans count those. That's a reference to a TV show, by the way. That's a fair option. Alright, here we are, the final segment of Cliffs. We're almost done. Oh my god, I'm almost done. Oh, fuck, I was muted there for a second. I didn't unmute myself, didn't I? So, okay. With the Bobverse books, I mentioned how, you know, the first 3 books felt very finite. It felt like a conclusion. Book 4, on the other hand, kind of feels more like a spin-off, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, it's still got all the same characters, and it's not like the perspective has changed. Like, this isn't like the later Percy Jackson series. But the big change between book 1 through 3 and then into book 4 is time. The first 3 books take place over the span of like 200 years. Then between books 3 and 4, we get about a 80-year time skip. And now book 4, so far I'm a few hours in, and it's at most been like 3 months. The timescale on the most recent book is a lot slower than the previous one. The action's still progressing at the same pace, but the time scale is definitely slowed down. So that's the first big change. The second big change is I feel like the book has more or less consolidated its characters. Because by the end of the third book, there are a few hundred Bobs. In this one, they mention that there are now over 10,000, but we are only actually interacting with, I don't know, maybe like 10. Like, they've really slimmed down the cast a little bit. We're focusing more on specific, you know, Bob Prime, Will, Bill, a few others. You know, it's mostly, the scope has decreased a little bit just to tell this one specific story. But it's been good so far. It spent a lot of time. They find this, basically like a ring that circles a sun. I can't remember what they call it. It's like a totalitarian. It's a totalitarianness. It's basically a civilization that lives on like a halo ring, but the ring is big enough that it circles an entire planet. And so that's interesting. And they've spent a lot, you know, they sneak their way onto the ring, and they turn into like otter beaver people. They make like these auto beaver mannies that are like mechs. And now they're exploring it. And I had the realization with the chapter I just read that they're in the Matrix. Because as it turns out, this like, there's this, so the ring is, you know, filled with these beaver people. But it's controlled by a group called the Administrators. However, there's a resistance. And one of the Bobs was explaining, the one that they were looking for, explains that the resistance is allowed to exist. That the administration knows that there is a resistance, but doesn't do anything to stop it. Because there's like this whole thing of like relocating people. You know, like think of like Tower of Babel. That if, you know, people get too cocky, they'll just move them to the opposite side of the ring, and then you never see them again. And like that quells any resistance. However, the administrators have allowed a resistance to form. And my guess is it's like the Matrix, where the rebellion exists in the Matrix because it is a necessary evil. Right? That no matter what, some portion of humanity will always be dissatisfied and will try to break out of the Matrix. So instead of wiping them out, why not just let them exist and play their own little rebellion game? You know, like, yeah, you could keep destroying Zion forever, but it's only gonna last so long. At least I think that's what the point of the second Matrix movie was. It's been at least 10 years since I've seen it. But yeah, this book feels like that. But so far, it's been good. The Bob Civil War has kicked off. You have these Star Trek cosplayers who are, you know, not the Resistance, what are they called? The Fleet? It's a Star Trek thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a group of like Star Trek cosplayers, and they're like, you know, we hail the Prime Directive. We're sick of Bobs interacting with like species that are, you know, pre-industrial and fucking up their lives. So they start a whole Bob Civil War over it. But now they're hinting that no, this has actually been in the works for like 10 years. And that there's probably something more malicious going on in here. Because the Star Trek Bobs are all kind of stupid, for lack of a better word. And I think that's interesting. I think it'd be more interesting is if the one who's actually leading this resistance is one of the Bobs from the first 3 books. Like, maybe it is someone like Thor, or fucking, what's another Bob? You know, maybe somehow Arthur survived. You know, it's one of, like the reveal that, hey, this resistance has been in plans for 10 years. Yeah, I get it. But if they had done the reveal of, like, no, this has been in the works for, like, 100 years since, you know, they defeated the others, I would have been like, oh, shit. Like, what a crazy reveal that would have been. But I do think it would make more sense if it's, like, one of the characters we met. You know, not one of, like, the newer replicant Bobs, but one of, like, the older Bobs. That would have been a cool reveal. And that might still happen. I'm like at most halfway through the book. I don't know. Where I was left off, they were talking about this weird thing about like cloning Bobs, because Bobs clone themselves. But how, you know, let's say you tried to make a copy of a Bob and like you transported it across space and then turned off the transported one in the original, then the transported one would be the original, and the one that got left behind would change its personality. And there's basically this idea that, like, two of the same personality Bob cannot exist at the same time. And so our, you know, Bob 1 might actually just straight up be Bob 1. Like, the original Bob before he died. And, like, that's got some interesting revelations. But I think it also, you know, it makes the world a little bit more interesting. I like the idea that there's a trans Bob. That, you know, with all these replicants getting differences, there's potentially a Bob that leans more into their femininity. And so you got a Bobby. I really like that idea. So far, they set it up in, like, one of the early chapters. Then, I don't know, a little less than halfway, they bring it up again, that there might be a Bobby. They better pay that off. At the end of some point before the end, we better get to actually meet this Bobby. That better be an actual thing. Because that is something I did think of. Like, you know, once they started talking about, like, replicants getting more and more unique, I was like, could they be, like, different genders? Could you get, you know, different sexualities, Bobs, that embrace, like, you know, farther and farther aspects of original Bob's personality? And I don't see why not. But yeah, so far it feels a little different, but it's not bad. It's not bad by any means. I do wonder if they're gonna wrap up everything in just one book, because based on how it's been going so Give me a second. What was I saying? I had to plug in my phone real quick. It was almost dead. So yeah, given how everything's going, I do kind of get the feeling that they might wrap up everything in this book. And then, whatever, my guess, based on, again, being like halfway, is that yes, they save Bender, they do whatever the hell they're doing in the Quins? Heaven's River. Let's just call it Heaven's River. It's what the place is called. They do whatever they need to do in Heaven's River. But then I think that sets up the next big bad, which is the admins. Because clearly the administrators were able to create Heaven's River, and then they forcibly relocated all the beaver people. And again, into what is basically a matrix, even though, again, it's not a simulation. It's just a giant ring. But yeah, I can see that being like the next like big bad threat. And yeah, maybe that's because I know there's one more book after this. Because between book 4 and 5, it's like 4 years. I didn't check anything before that. I don't know how long between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and 3 and 4. But I know 4 and 5 is like 4 years. But you never know with these things. I wish there was just a way where I could hit it and it would just bring down the whole thing. Like if I hit it with like the B button or the X button, it would just bring down the whole wall. I guess what I could do... Actually, that's not gonna work. Never mind, we're almost done. But yeah, that was all I read today. I didn't read any Super Nintendo. I still have not finished or I have not started Operation Bounce House. I did read like the little summary though for it. And yeah, I thought Operation Bounce House was like the people were trying to like bounce out like an alien race. No, Bounce House is like a video game where you get to kill people on other planets. And yeah, it still sounds very interesting. I guess it is very topical as well, which that's good to hear. I mean, I guess I could see the metaphor if it's like something like, you know, the people playing this Operation Bounce House game are, you know, metaphor for like ICE or something like that. I could believe that. Because ICE is just people pretending to be, you know, like cops or soldiers. Because they're people who couldn't be cops or soldiers because they flunked out or they failed the ASVAB. And so now they get to pretend to be them, but they're still given real guns. So I can already see that metaphor. Well, like, I'm gonna finish these Bob books because I got less than 8 hours in book 6, or book 4, I mean, and then I think book 5 is also only like 8 hours. I can probably knock those out in like a week. Now, another thing I did not watch the State of Play. I know there was a State of Play today. I was at work. I have seen multiple spoilers. Yeah, I did not turn off my Twitter notifications, which, it's kind of whatever. But I didn't turn them off. So I saw a few things, and then I did actually start watching it. I watched like the first like 3 minutes, and then I was like, okay, well I could either watch this now, or I could start up Animal Crossing in like 20 minutes. Fuck it, let's do Animal Crossing instead. And so I do not plan on live reacting to it. Again, most of the big things have been spoiled for me. It's not that big of a deal. We'll of course talk about it during Wibby later this week. Be that, you know, tomorrow... Probably not. If I can barely make it through a few sentences now, there's not a chance in hell I can make it through a Wibby tomorrow. But we'll see. But yeah, we'll talk about it either during Wibby or something else, but I don't think I'm gonna live react to it. Well, not live react, but even like post live. No, I don't think I will. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's all the book I've got. And I'll probably go over all this again when we actually get to Wibby. At least some of it, at least in broad strokes. I feel like here we can get more specific. I don't know, I've just gotten big... I give all the credit to Matt Dinniman. The Dungeon Crawler Carl books were so good that they, like, got me back into reading. Or at least audiobook, which... again, I know some people will say, well, no, it's different. And, like, yes, it is different, but it's not so different as to disqualify one from another. Like, that's the thing. I don't think they're, like, false equivalencies. You know, you can read a book, you can audiobook, and you're getting, yes, things are different, but you're still getting similar experiences. And I just have more time to audiobook. That's the other thing. Like, I find it a lot easier to be like, oh, you know, I've got free 10 seconds or 10 minutes. I've got a free 10 minutes. Oh, I'll just pop in a headphone and an audiobook. Whereas like, oh, I've got 10 minutes to do something. Oh, well, reading a book is a lot more work. Like, it's not more work. It's just, oh, then I'm going to have to stop midway through a chapter and it just becomes messy. I know the same thing happens in audiobooks, but it's a lot easier to like pick it back up. Pick it up. We still gotta sell turnips tonight. Yeah, we still have plenty of stuff to do. Because my goal, if we can pay off the house tonight, I'm gonna pay off the house tonight. We might have enough money. Barely. God, I hope so. Okay, we've got like 6 to 8 strands left. Oh, fuck. And then we take it all down, and then I'm gonna have to build it all back up. See, I know there are people who, like, play Animal Crossing for, like, hours, and probably what it took us, like, 4 days to do, they probably could have done in, like, a single stream. But that's just not how I play Animal Crossing. I play Animal Crossing very decompressed. I very much like to take my time with things. You know, projects don't... Unless a project has to be done, you know, like the finale, I will take as long as it takes to do a project. Because, you know, it's more about the journey than it is the destination. Speaking of the finale, I've done a lot of work on it. I'm mostly done. I do realize I might have to do some reshoots. I only have 24 hours to do it. But there's specifically like 2 scenes that I either forgot to film, and then there's one scene where, so in order to like keep track of my character, I place down like a green tile. So that way, oh well, as long as I place my character on the green tile, they'll be in the same position shot for shot. But you know, sometimes the green tile isn't exactly where you need it to be, so sometimes you gotta move around, you know, sometimes shots change. And there's at least one scene where you can see the green tile in the shot. And I'm like, fuck. Fuck, I can't believe I did that. But I did. It's there. And there's a part of me that's just like, oh, you know, I don't want to film. If I wasn't sick, I would go back and fix it for sure. But because I am, I really don't want to. But also, you know, this is like the only time I'm going to ever do this. Or at least for, you know, years until the next Animal Crossing game. Potentially. Probably. So if, like, this is one of the last times I'm doing this, you know, I should get it right. It's kind of like what people were talking about with Invincible and its animation. Like, this is our one chance to adapt Invincible. If the animation is bad, well, it's not like there's going to be a second chance to do it. So we should get it right the first time. And, well, yes, the animation sucks. Overall, I do think they got it right. It's been good. The show is still good. The story is good. I'm willing to look across some lower animation, especially when some scenes have some really good shit. I had to get a drink there. Oh my gosh. I'm so dying right now. Metaphorically. My cough was not this bad at work today, because I had to do some talking, and I got through all that fine. Something about just streaming. Streaming makes my cough worse. Oh my gosh. There we go. I was like, where is that? Okay, we got 2 rows left. And then we're done. We're done with flattening the island. We've got all this space that we're not going to use for fucking anything because the series ends tomorrow. Or at least not this part of the series anyways. I might just relocate some houses here, but, you know, that'll just be a small thing. Here we are at the final row. And there it is. One flat island. Look, we even have some jabroni over here. Where the fuck did you come from? Samson. Oh, okay. Here's another thing I guess I'll talk. We'll go over to Red's place real quick. And then we'll come back and we'll do turnips. Here's something. So, Edmund McMullen's new game, Mugenics, came out. Yes. Came out like 2 days ago. Well, I went to buy it yesterday, after the stream, and it wasn't showing up on Steam. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Why is this not showing up? I Google it, I can see the website, but it's not showing up on the Steam client. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go to see, and like, I can see like friends are playing it. So I'm like, I'm missing something? What's going on here? And so, eventually, I find a way where through a friends page, I'm able to open up the store page. And by opening up that, Steam gives me a notification. Hey, you told us you don't want to see, you know, violent content, so that's why we hid the game. And I'm like, when the fuck did I tell you that, Steam? Is this like Discord wanting my ID all of a sudden? Like, what? I don't think I've ever told that to Steam before, like, oh, don't show me mature content. Like, I have the Binding of Isaac. That's the other thing, is I have Binding of Isaac, I have its DLCs, I don't know why those show up, but this doesn't. And to be fair, I looked at it, not all the Binding of Isaac DLCs show up either. Only, like, the original, Rebirth, I think the ones I own, because there's one I don't own, like Afterbirth or Afterbirth Plus or something like that. Whatever the most recent one is. I don't own that one, and as a result, it doesn't show up in my Steam, or it doesn't show up when I Google it on Steam. So that's just weird. Oh, I think this is real. Because I think the fake one has a tongue. Yeah, we'll buy that. So yeah, I don't know how somehow I got parental advisory turned on my Steam thing, but somehow it happened, so... But I was able to buy the game, no issue, and then I downloaded it and I have not played it yet. I'll get around to it, sure, but, you know, all my free time is going up to Animal Crossing. I don't know, I've heard it is a really good game. I've also heard its humor is very, like, 2000s, which, to be fair, Edmund McMullen was a Newgrounds guy. Binding of Isaac also has very much 2000s humor. And some of it may be tasteless, but, you know, you kind of get what you pay for. Hey, Kix, you got any kicks for me? If these were any other color. Oops, no, I did not mean to hit that. It is Thursday, isn't it? That means we can check the bingo board today. I probably will save it for tomorrow, but we could if we wanted to. Yeah, no, I might as well save the bingo board for the final day. Can I drop this? Good, I can. Alright, let's go grab our turnips. I know potentially we could get another, like, 20 bucks out of them, but the chances of that are slim. Okay, it's a 33% chance, but I'm not going to risk it. Oh yeah, we had to get rid of our bathtub. And I bet with all the stuff we have laying around the house, if we do pay off the house, we're just going to fill it with the storage up immediately again. Like, I don't actually think we're that safe when it comes to storage. Okay, we can get a few more. We can I'll make it so that way we can make a full trip. We can drop at least 4 things in our pocket. I'll keep the money. Hang on wall. Place item. Place item. And place item. Hopefully we don't come across anything that needs any of those things. Let me make sure our sparkly toilet is still... Yep, nothing to worry about there. You know, you just gotta check. Boop. Alright, let's sell all these turnips. We know we're going to get at least 300k. I don't think we're going to break 400. We could. Maybe it's I don't think we're going to break 500. Maybe that's a better prediction. Because, yeah, we know we're at least getting our money back. Yeah, I'm gonna guess under half a million. Under half a million. Oh shit, that's not much at all. I thought we'd at least break 400k. Fuck. Yeah, we barely made 50k from... We have made 50k in a day. We barely made any money from that. That fucking sucks. I do still, however, think it's going to be enough. I do think, yeah, it's going to be enough to pay off things. It's too big to see across, but too small for sea monsters. Yeah, you don't want those kraken attacking your floating moss island thingies. Flotellas? I think they call them flotellas. Once per day. I'm glad we never broke this. You know, we kept up our Nook shopping thing every single day. Oh, we got new hairstyles? I'll take new hairstyles. Yeah, let's do it. I don't know what those 4 fab hairstyles are. And I'm surprised there are only 4 of them, but yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, I was not expecting that. Let's see, Nook shopping. Oh no. There's never anything. Like, the only reason to do Nook shopping would be the, KK Slider album. That's it. Other than that, there is no reason to do Nook shopping. There's almost never anything good. Okay, we do have... Oh, thank God we have enough. With that, let's pay our house from savings. That's the full amount paid off. Yeah, we paid off our house. We paid off our final home loan. At least final home loan of this series. I must congratulate you for your home, I must ask. Are the payments by any chance motivated by a desire for expansion? So I have good news, I'd be more than happy to expand it for credit. Do come to me if you want to discuss more. Yes, that's exactly why I'm here. About my home. I want to expand. Another room would give you extra space. $750. I wonder why there's an 8 at the end. Why it's not just like a clean $750. I don't know. We're flat broke now, but hey, we did it. We had a thing to expand our home 5 times. That was our final thing on the bingo. So with that, we have blackout. We'll, of course, officially confirm it tomorrow. But I know that was the final thing we needed to do. We've done everything else. Somehow we pulled it off. Fucking somehow. Alright, let's... We didn't even go by Nook's or the Able sisters. Whatever. I'm not even doing we're not going to finish the hotel. It's fine. I more or less get the gist. I'm ready to go to bed. Fuck it, chef's outfit. Fuck it, no pants. Only leggings. No, okay, I'm not gonna go that far. Okay, maybe these aren't the right types of pants. It's kind of funny. Fuck it, that's funny enough for me to be like, let's do it. Yeah, this is where I'm going to bed. I'm so fucking out of it. Oh my god. Oh, Silver Jazz, you're coming in right as we're ending off. Oh, sorry. We'll be back tomorrow, though, for day 30. Season finale. Season finale time. So, because, yeah, I still... You know, I say, oh, I'm going to go to bed right now. I've got to finish the season finale. I still have to do that. So, my goal is we will be back tomorrow at... I'm aiming for around 4 p.m. Pacific time. 4 p.m. Pacific. That'd be 6 Central, 7 Eastern, whatever it is. The other one. Mountain. I guess it'd be 5. I'm in the mountain time. Why do I not know that? That's what I'm aiming for. I do not know if we will actually make that. But we'll be back tomorrow, day 30. One final day. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I don't have anything special planned, but, you know, we can celebrate nevertheless. We'll go say hi to all of our friends, and then say goodbye. I don't think I have the goodbye wave. I only have the greetings wave. But regardless, With that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.